This video is all about the affordable housing crisis that exists in almost every market that I see. And full disclosure, I am wrapping up an amazing trip with my family for spring break in Panama City. And I had zero intent about making any type of content while I was gone. I wanted to unplug and obviously stay abreast of the current events and the things that are happening, because obviously the Fed just increased Fed funds rates by 1/4 point, and we've got banks failing left and right. There's all kinds of fear of contagion within the banking system, and all of these patterns are exactly what I expected to see as the pain of recession got worse. And they're predictable. It happened in 2008, and it's going to happen again. To what severity, yet to be determined, I don't know. But I do know that there are many folks out there that are priced out of the housing market. And so I'm obviously always got my finger to the pulse of what's going on wherever I'm at. But again, my intent was not to make content while I'm here in Panama. And we had an incredible time. Panama is an incredible place to visit. But again, full disclosure, zero intent on making content up until I landed. And the reason this is so important, I think, and so critical to understand, is that while I know there are more affordable homes that exist in the world, I just haven't been exposed to many of them. And so there are plenty of folks that reach out to me on a regular basis that are financially challenged, that might be senior citizens that are getting ready to retire, and they're tremendously concerned about the value of the dollar, how far their money will go, how much time they have left with the money that they have, how long till that money runs out. And with all the fear and uncertainty that exists in the market, there's a lot of people that are really feeling the squeeze of this recession, which, again, I heard Janet Yellen talking about something like soft landing. I know I heard that recently. Are you effing kidding me? Soft landing? We haven't even started to fall. So there's not going to be a soft landing. But that brings me to why I'm making this video, which is the affordable housing crisis. I had no idea how stable Panama is. And when I think about, or when I thought about Panama previous to coming to visit, I think of the Noriega days, I think of the cartel days, I think of political instability. I think of a region that is, well, it's foreign to me. I have no idea what it is. But my misconception was that it was all of those things that it once was. What I came to learn is that none of that exists. In fact, this region reminds me, at least the Panama City region and the Costa del Este region that I've visited, reminds me of an early stage of Manhattan. It reminds me of an early stage of Miami Beach. It reminds me of an early stage of Fort Lauderdale. The region that I'm in, the cost of living is so much better in terms of eating out and dining and basically everything, that I was shocked. In fact, the first night when we went out to dinner, I thought for sure that either the food was going to suck or there was a misprint on the menu, because it was so incredibly inexpensive relative to anything that I have seen in a long time. A family of 4 going out easily costs, $100 or more the way that we eat. But here it's probably 40 to 50% lower depending on where you're eating. So it's there's a major cost of life improvement or cost of living improvement. And then in addition to that, with a little bit of research, I came to find that there are housing opportunities across the board for almost any budget, which are quite favorable. Now, as many of you know, my Spanish speaking is limited to essentially no bueno, but I've had no problem, communicating, getting around. It is a very friendly, welcoming community, and there's a tremendous amount of expats that are here, that have settled, that are having an incredible experience living in Panama. And so I wanted to learn more about that. I wanted to see if I could connect with some top real estate professionals here that could maybe enlighten me a little bit more to some of the opportunities that exist. And so that's what this video is going to be. I did reach out to 2 all-star professionals that are the best of the best in this market. And I'm going to ask them some questions so that you can learn more about some of the affordable options that exist, and then also some of the luxury options that exist. I was shocked to find, for 300,000 to 500,000, you can live on the beach in an incredible, safe, secure, English friendly, American friendly, resort style community that is paradise. And so that's what this video is going to be all about. I'll give you an immersive tour. I hope you enjoy it. If there's anything I can ever do to serve or support you, please reach out, and I will resume with regularly scheduled content this coming week, which hopefully this video comes out before next Monday. But the future looks bright, and if there's anything I can do to help, you know where to find me. Who knew that I was going to fall in love with Panama here on spring break with my family? One of the things that I was most excited about when we got on the plane is my mother-in-law had printed out some background information on Panama, and it was written by lovely Melissa, who has been kind enough to participate in this video and share a little bit of her journey, her experience, because she had written this unbelievable ebook, which is Panama
Uncorked.
Uncorked, yeah. And really answered a lot of questions that I had about Panama. I'm 47 years old. What I think of was the Noriega days and that type of thing. And I had no idea what I was getting into or what to expect, but her her ebook was very, very helpful. And she was kind enough to allow me to ask her some questions and maybe demystify the experience for you, because I know so many of you are looking for opportunities that exist outside of the Florida housing market. And so we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into that right now. And if you have any questions or want to learn more, then there will be information down below in the ad copy or the description, which you can link to and connect directly with Melissa, which is awesome. So if you wouldn't mind, please tell me a little bit more or your journey into Panama.
I came to Panama the first time in 2010. And like you, I thought Panama was going to be full of dirt roads, grubby-faced children, and roosters. And I was so shocked when I got to Panama to see, Panama City, which was like a young Miami, the tall skyscrapers, the sparkling ocean. And I was so intrigued. I came back a second time because that for me was just vacation. I came back a second time to really look at Panama and think, could I live here? By 2012, I had moved to Panama, lock, stock, and wine barrel. I'm a wine person. I had to move to a place that had good restaurants, good wine, culture. I want to be in a place where I can wear cocktail dresses as well as more casual clothes. So it just ticked all the boxes. I had been to over 30 countries at the time. And again, it was just this perfect combination of a place that was easy to get to from the United States, English language friendly, because when I moved here, I knew literally 5 words of Spanish, and a place where I could easily assimilate. So I've been here now over 10 years. I have a real estate and relocation company called Choose Panama. We do rentals, real estate, investment tours. One of the things I think that's intriguing right now for people from the United States is people are looking for either a second investment opportunity or plan B. What happens if things don't work out or get too expensive or get too crazy in the US? And that's where Panama becomes really enticing. There are several things here. We don't have any natural disasters. And I know in South Florida, that's something you live with on a daily basis.
In fact, I was shocked because I did a little bit of research, and home insurance in Florida specifically is just a complete nightmare. It is astronomically skyrocketed over the last few years. And here, when I saw what home insurance is, I couldn't believe it. So maybe you could talk on that.
Insurance is crazy inexpensive. It's typically 0.1% of the value of your home. So for example, if you have a $500,000 apartment or home, you're going to pay $500 a year for your fire and structure insurance. Again, it's very low risk because it's not very much money. So the insurance
compared to $3,000 to $4,000, depending on the age and the location of the property.
Exactly.
Similarly in South Florida.
Also, what I'll call the hidden costs of living here are quite low. It's not just the cost of living itself, But for example, HOA costs in a typical building, I live in a luxury building here, the HOA is $250 a month. It includes everything except electricity and your cable and internet. So it includes water, trash, security, everything like that. Maid service between $35 and $40 per day. So the house is always sparkling clean. Health insurance, depending upon your age and any existing conditions, will be typically $100, $200 a month.
Wow.
About 1/10 of what it might be in the U.S.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because I
Mhm.
think one of the common maybe misconceptions, or you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people would think that the quality of healthcare here is subpar or substandard.
Completely not true. The healthcare here is amazing. Now, certainly there are what we'll call the local hospitals. I would not choose to go to a local hospital. I would choose to go to a private hospital. One of our best hospitals here is the Punta Pacifica Hospital. It's a Johns Hopkins affiliate. And they have doctors that have been trained in the United States, in Canada, in Europe, all over the world. The majority of them speak English. And we have specialists in every, flavor, just like you would in the US.
Wow. That's a big deal. That really is. I'm assuming that you can see behind us is the most incredible view. This is not uncommon. So I've talked a lot in the past about the scarcity of resource as far as land is concerned in South Palm Beach County, and I haven't seen any evidence of that here in Panama. There is, in the area we're staying at, Costa del Este, it's very European looking, very upscale, very new, all types of international private schools that are there. So the education looks to be, next to anything I've seen comparatively. So really a lot of opportunity here. Can you talk about the growth that you've seen in the short time? I mean, you've been here 10 years?
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
One of the questions I get asked most often is, what's the hardest thing about living in Panama? And that always makes me chuckle a little bit, because when I first moved here 10 years ago, there were definitely some hard things. But in the past decade, a lot of these hard things have been resolved. So there aren't too many things as a new person coming to Panama, either as someone who relocates or as an investor. There aren't that many things that are truly, truly hard anymore. So you get a soft landing instead of a hard landing. Honestly, I had a harder time moving from California to Texas than I did moving from Texas to Panama, which is a little crazy.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for some culture shock too. I mean, I stand out. I'm 6'2". I look like an American tourist, although I was confused for a Canadian tourist multiple times. But I don't have a cool hat yet, so I got to get the Panama hat, and then I'll really be in. But I speak, maybe you said you spoke 5 words when you got here. I think I'm buen and no bueno. I got 2. Those are my go-to. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that. But nonetheless, it's been very welcoming, very friendly. It's unbelievable shopping, access to basically anything I could want. And that was not my impression. I thought I might be coming into a third world country where we've got narcos and Noriega lurking in the background. I haven't seen anything like that. It's been unbelievable.
And I want to hit on shopping for a second, because if you want to shop, you can buy a dress for $2.99, or you can go to Chanel. We have all the major big brands, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, you name it. We have several malls that do carry the couture brands. So there's always something for everyone. We also have a lot of great restaurants. And I think that was one of the things that really intrigued me, because I'm a foodie. I want to go to nice restaurants. I want to have good wine at my fingertips. And as time has gone on, we've gotten even more and more great restaurants. And I think that surprises people when you can get cuisine on par with New York, and you're here in Panama, so that the price is a lot friendlier.
And that was one of the things that stood out to me. We've gone out to dinner almost every night, and I'm looking at the menu and I'm saying, oh, either the food's no good or they don't understand how pricing works. But the food was unbelievable, really, really high quality. And it's just a cost of living adjustment, which is a big bonus. One of the other things I noticed, and maybe you can speak to this, is you mentioned Manhattan, but where we were staying in Costa del Este, we're looking into the city, and I watched the traffic on the bridge coming into the city and out, and it seems so much nicer. There's no crazy driver. There's no. I haven't seen any aggressive driving whatsoever. It just seems to be culturally much nicer than anything I've experienced in a while, which is nice.
Yeah, people don't use their horns an awful lot here. In some places like Brazil, they love their horns a lot more. And I think the rule of thumb here is whoever has their nose out first wins. And it's, once you get used to the rhythm of driving here, I think it is very easy to drive here. Somebody from a very small town in Nebraska might be a little bit intimidated, but if you're living in South Miami, then
Yeah,
or South Florida, then it should be no problem.
it's a big improvement. I can speak to that. Okay, great. So I really appreciate your time. This has been an incredible experience, enjoying the this Panamanian resorts that we've been at. But I really want to ask Melissa, is there any, well, first of all, please reach out to her directly. But what you didn't talk about is, do you provide tours or anything like that for people who might be interested in getting to know?
Yes, we actually are a full service company. So if you want to just come and rent for a week or a month, that's fine. We can help you there. If you're interested specifically in real estate and want to come down and do a private real estate tour, or if you're interested in a small group tour, we also do small group real estate investment tours that will take you around the whole country.
That's really good. Yeah, there's a lot of folks who come to South Florida, and I end up giving the best tour guide that I can, but being in a transactional business, it's hard to do both. But you did create an ebook that I talked about earlier. How could someone get that if they were interested?
If you want my ebook, just reach out on the link below. That will take you to my website, and I'm happy to email that to you for free. And then if you want to come down and spend 2 or 3 nights in a rental apartment to see what it's like, we're happy to give that to you complimentary. If you want to stay longer, you can pay for that. But if you just want to stay 2 or 3 nights, we're happy to comp that for you.
So please reach out, and we will continue to talk more in the future and continue to showcase what it's like to live here in Panama.
Ciao.
Ciao.